You sleep 7, maybe 8 hours a night. But still, you wake up groggy, foggy, and reaching for that double espresso just to feel human. You're doing everything you've been told. You're putting in the time, but you're not getting the results. You feel like you're wasting a third of your life in bed, only to feel exhausted during the hours you're actually supposed to be living. It's a frustrating, endless cycle. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the rule itself? You've been told you need 8 hours of sleep, but what if that's a myth for some of us? For decades, we've accepted this golden rule, yet so many of us still wake up feeling like we've been hit by a truck. What if the secret to waking up refreshed isn't about how long you sleep, but how well you sleep? Today, we are redigging into the science of sleep efficiency to show you how to get back hours of your day without feeling tired. This isn't about dangerous sleep deprivation. This is about smart, science-backed optimization that can give you back your time and your energy. Let's start by tearing down the biggest myth in wellness: the universal need for 8 hours of sleep. For years, this number has been treated like gospel, but the science shows it's a massive oversimplification. While guidelines from organizations like the American Academy of Sleep Medicine say adults need at least 7 hours, the optimal amount falls within a range, typically between 7 and 9 hours. In fact, some recent studies suggest the sweet spot for cognitive performance and health in many adults is right around 7 to 8 hours. This one-size-fits-all approach ignores your age, your lifestyle, and most importantly, your genetics. Our DNA can actually program us for different sleep needs. There are some people with a specific genetic mutation who are short sleepers. They can genuinely thrive on less than 6 hours of sleep. But let's be clear, these individuals are extremely rare. For the vast majority of us, trying to get by on that little sleep is a recipe for disaster. Expecting everyone to need 8 hours is like prescribing the same pair of shoes for everyone on the planet. It makes no sense. The real goal isn't hitting an arbitrary number, it's achieving high-quality restorative sleep. So, is a well-rested 6 hours better than a restless, interrupted 8? In terms of quality, absolutely. But the real win is getting high-quality sleep for the duration your body actually needs. Let's stop obsessing over the clock and start focusing on what really matters: sleep efficiency. This is how you wake up with energy and reclaim those lost hours. If you want to control your sleep, you have to control light. Our bodies run on a 24-hour internal clock called the circadian rhythm. Think of it as the master conductor for your body's orchestra, telling every cell when to be active and when to rest. And the number one signal that sets this clock is light. This brings us to the most powerful and completely free sleep hack there is: morning sunlight. When you get bright, natural sunlight in your eyes within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking, you send a powerful, good morning signal straight to your brain's master clock. This morning light jumpstarts the release of cortisol, a hormone that makes you feel alert and focused. At the same time, it puts the brakes on the sleep hormone melatonin. Doing this consistently creates a strong, clear rhythm. Your body learns, okay, this is the start of the day, and because this clock is so precise, it starts a countdown for when to release melatonin later that evening, helping you feel sleepy right on schedule. Studies show that people who get regular morning sun don't just sleep better, they also have better moods and lower stress. We're not talking about a huge commitment here. Aim for 10 to 30 minutes. Have your coffee on the porch, take a short walk, just open the blinds. Even on a cloudy day, the natural light outside is far more powerful than your indoor lights. The other half of this hack is just as crucial. You have to block light at night. The blue light blasting from our phones, tablets, and TVs is especially bad. It tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, which can halt or delay the natural production of melatonin you need to fall asleep. This is why you can feel tired but wired after scrolling through Instagram in bed. To really optimize your sleep, you have to create a digital sunset. Commit to putting all screens away at least an hour before you plan to sleep. This one change can radically improve how fast you fall asleep and how good that sleep is. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep, and maybe one other thing. But if you're also using it as a movie theater, a dining room, or a home office, you're sending mixed signals to your brain. To maximize sleep efficiency, you need an environment that screams It's time to power down. The three pillars of a perfect sleep environment are cool, dark, and quiet. First up, temperature. Your body's core temperature needs to drop by a couple of degrees to get into and stay in deep sleep. If your room is too warm, you're fighting your own biology. This leads to more tossing and turning, more waking up, and less of that physically restorative deep sleep. Research consistently points to an ideal sleep temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. It might feel a bit chilly at first, but this cool environment helps your body do its thing, making it easier to fall and stay asleep. Next, darkness. It is not just your brain's master clock that is sensitive to light. Your skin has light receptors too. Any light in your bedroom, even from a tiny charging light or a street lamp peeking through the blinds, can mess with your sleep cycles. The goal is absolute, cave-like darkness. Get yourself some blackout curtains. Cover or unplug any electronics with glowing lights. And if you can't make your room pitch black, a comfortable sleep mask is a cheap and incredibly effective fix. This total darkness helps your body maximize melatonin production for deeper, uninterrupted rest. Finally, quiet. Unexpected noises are one of the biggest culprits of fragmented sleep, even if you don't remember waking up. Your brain still hears the car alarm or the neighbor's dog, pulling you out of deep sleep and into a lighter stage. If you live in a noisy place, earplugs are a simple fix. Another fantastic tool is a white noise machine or even just a fan. That constant, predictable sound masks sudden noises, creating a consistent audio backdrop that lets your brain finally relax. By dialing in these three variables, cool, dark, and quiet, you transform your bedroom into a true sleep sanctuary. What you put into your body, and when, has a massive impact on your sleep quality. Two of the biggest sleep saboteurs are caffeine and alcohol. We all kind of know this, but the science shows just how much damage they can do. Let's talk caffeine. That afternoon coffee you think you need to power through the day could be the very thing wrecking your sleep that night. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means if you have a coffee at 3 p.m., a quarter of that caffeine could still be active in your brain at 9 p.m. It works by physically blocking the receptors for adenosine, a chemical that makes you feel sleepy. So even if you do manage to fall asleep, the quality is worse, and you get less of the deep, restorative sleep you desperately need. A simple rule for better sleep: cut off all caffeine at least 8 to 10 hours before bed. Now for alcohol. A lot of people use a nightcap to relax and drift off. And while alcohol is a sedative and can make you drowsy at first, it's a trap. Alcohol demolishes your sleep architecture later in the night. Specifically, it suppresses REM sleep, the stage crucial for memory, emotional regulation, and learning. That's why you often wake up feeling mentally foggy and irritable after drinking, even if you slept for a long time. To protect your sleep, it's best to avoid alcohol, especially in the few hours before bed. On the flip side, you can use food timing to your advantage. Eating a huge, heavy meal right before bed can disrupt sleep because your digestive system has to work overtime. However, some research suggests that a meal rich in certain carbohydrates, like jasmine rice, about 4 hours before bed might help you fall asleep faster. This could be due to its effect on tryptophan and serotonin, which are precursors to our old friend, melatonin. The key is timing and moderation. Fuel your body for rest, and avoid the things that clog up the system. You can't go from 100 miles per hour to a dead stop. Your brain and body need a transition period to shift from the stress of the day to a state of rest. This is where a dedicated wind-down routine becomes your secret weapon. A consistent pre-sleep ritual signals to your body that sleep is coming, like a Pavlovian bell for bedtime. A powerful science-backed technique to include is progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR. It's a simple way to release physical tension you don't even realize you're carrying. Just lie down comfortably, and starting with your toes, consciously tense those muscles for 5 seconds, then completely release. Feel the difference. Then, work your way up your body. Calves, thighs, glutes, abs, hands, arms, and face. This process flips the switch in your nervous system from the fight or flight mode to the rest and digest mode, slowing your heart rate and prepping you for sleep. Mindfulness and meditation can also be game changers. The main reason we can't sleep is often a racing mind, replaying the day or worrying about tomorrow. A guided meditation or simple breathing exercises can quiet that mental chatter. Just focus on the feeling of your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, just gently bring it back. The goal isn't to have an empty mind, it's to stop getting swept away by your thoughts. Your wind-down routine should last anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes. Disconnect from work and social media, dim the lights to encourage melatonin. Maybe read a real physical book, not on a screen. Listen to calm music, or do some light stretching. The specific activities matter less than the consistency. By creating this buffer zone, you're giving your nervous system a clear signal that it's safe to power down, leading to a faster and more peaceful trip to dreamland. Look, if you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about taking back your energy and your time. These aren't just tips. They're proven strategies that can fundamentally change your relationship with sleep. If you got any value out of this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It makes a huge difference. And for more deep dives into science-backed ways to perform at your best, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Now I'm curious. Which one of these hacks are you most excited to try first? Or maybe there's a sleep myth you used to believe that we busted today. Drop a comment below. I read every single one and would love to hear from you. Let us be crystal clear. The goal here has never been about dangerously depriving yourself of rest. This isn't a macho competition to see who can survive on the least amount of sleep. That's a fast track to burnout and bad health. Instead, this is about shifting your entire focus from quantity to quality. It's about being intentional and smart with your rest. We've busted the 8-hour myth. We've shown you how to master your light environment, getting morning sun to set your clock and dodging blue light at night. We've talked about engineering your bedroom into a cool, dark, quiet sanctuary to get that deep, uninterrupted rest. And we've covered how to use nutrition and relaxation to prime your body and mind for sleep. When you implement these strategies, you're not just sleeping. You're performing critical nightly maintenance for your brain, your immune system, and your overall health. You can spend less time in bed tossing and turning, and more time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep that actually move the needle. You can wake up feeling clear, refreshed, and ready to attack the day in less time than you thought you needed. So stop counting the hours you sleep and start making the hours you sleep count.